You think you own Bitcoin. You check your brokerage app, see Bitcoin in your portfolio, and you sleep easy. You've convinced yourself that you're part of the revolution. But here's the truth. That's not Bitcoin. That's a digital IOU. Now, just like dollars used to be backed by gold until one day they weren't, today's Bitcoin in most portfolios never even touches the blockchain. It's being repackaged, lent out, and traded in ways you'll never see, until the day the music stops. Now, this isn't adoption, it's dilution, and if you don't wake up now, you'll discover the hard way that you never owned the real thing. So let's rewind to 1971. President Nixon ends the gold standard, and overnight the dollar goes from a claim on gold to a claim on nothing but trust in the US government. And the gold, well, the gold was locked away in Fort Knox, untouchable for everyday citizens. Now, the system didn't collapse overnight. In fact, people barely noticed at first, because the dollar still looked the same. They still spent the same, but the underlying reality had shifted forever. The promise of redeemable gold became a fairy tale, and the game transitioned from hard money to paper promises. Now fast forward to 2025. BlackRock's Bitcoin ETF is the hottest thing on Wall Street. Billions pour in from pension funds, retail investors, and institutions hungry for crypto exposure. Financial media calls it the next step in Bitcoin adoption. But peel back the hype and you'll see the same magic trick from 1971 playing out in real time. See, when you buy an ETF, you're not buying Bitcoin. You are buying a claim, a piece of paper that says somewhere, somehow, someone is holding real Bitcoin and for you. Now, it's the same sleight of hand that turned gold into a manipulated asset class and for decades. The ETF is a wrapper, a beautifully marketed, institutionally approved wrapper that lets Wall Street trade Bitcoin without ever touching a private key. And you, well, you get to watch the price move while they hold the real asset. Now here's why that matters. Because the entire point of Bitcoin was to remove trust from the system, to give individuals direct ownership of an asset that cannot be seized, inflated, or manipulated by middlemen. Now, Bitcoin doesn't ask for your trust, it replaces it with cryptographic proof. But the ETF model puts trust right back in the middle. You trust the fund to buy Bitcoin, you trust them not to lend it out, and you trust them to keep it safe. And you trust that when you want to cash out, they'll be ready to pay you in full. Now, that's not decentralization, that's the same game as before, just with a new ticker, but it's the same trap. See, look at gold in the early 2000s. Gold ETFs, like GLD, exploded in popularity. They made gold easy to own. No vaults, no coins, no delivery, just a ticker symbol and a promise. But over time, the paper gold market dwarfed the physical supply. In London, for every single ounce of gold, there were sometimes dozens of paper claims floating around. Price discovery stopped being about actual gold, it was about the paper market. And if the paper market is bigger than the real thing, it controls the price. The gold stays locked in vaults, and the power to manipulate the market stayed in the hands of the few who controlled the paper. Now imagine that same mechanism, but applied to Bitcoin. Because the beauty of Bitcoin is that it's transparent. Every coin can be traced, every wallet visible on the chain. But ETFs exist off-chain. You can't audit them in real time. You can't verify if they actually hold what they claim. And if they choose to lend those coins out, create synthetic exposure, or operate on fractional reserves, you'll never know until it's too late. See, owning paper Bitcoin is like buying a gym membership instead of working out. It gives you the feeling of participation, but without any of the actual benefits. You see the number on the app, but you don't hold the keys, and without the keys, you have no sovereignty. Now, when push comes to shove, whether it's a bank run, a government freeze, or corporate default, you're holding a claim and not the thing itself. And in a crisis, claims get delayed, denied, or restructured, whereas Bitcoin in your custody is settled instantly. See, Bitcoin was not created to make Wall Street richer. It was created to make Wall Street irrelevant. And every time you choose the easy route, ETF, the broker, the exchange wallet, you hand back the power it was meant to give you. You take the sharpest sword in the fight for financial sovereignty, and you dull it down to a souvenir. Now, the real magic of Bitcoin is not that the price goes up. It's that it takes the rules of the old system and throws them out the window. It says you are your own bank, you are your own vault, and you answer to no one. And that's the revolution. So ask yourself, do you actually own Bitcoin? Or do you own a glorified spreadsheet entry in some institution's database? Because one gives you sovereignty and the other just gives you exposure. And exposure won't save you when the system cracks. Now, if you want real Bitcoin, you have to take real steps. Withdraw from exchanges, move to cold storage, control your private keys, and verify on-chain. Now, it's harder, it's less convenient, and it forces you to learn. But it's the only way to actually opt out of the system. So, just remember this. Play defense and you'll lose slowly. Play offense and you'll own time itself. Now, the institutions aren't here to set you free. They're here to put Bitcoin back in a box. So the question is, are you going to let them? Now, if you want to go deeper down the Bitcoin rabbit hole, then check out my ebook down below, because it's the wake-up call they never wanted you to read. Now, I do also have to chuck this disclaimer in here as well, and I highly suggest just pausing the video and having a little read. Now, if you've made it this far, and if you're looking for something else to watch, then click right here and have a watch of this.